Freedom to explore without the limits. You've had the big boat, but no longer wish to deal with the logistics? Or you're a bit of an explorer-minded person. The places you wish to go don't necessarily have the space or the capacity for a big, complex boat, and you just want to get into all those cool, undiscovered places, like where we are right now today, and kind of just sneak in and out and enjoy yourself. So, ladies and gents, if that is you, that's when this boat, the Sargo 28, could be the perfect choice for you. Beautiful, safe walk-around decks, amazing construction, super high quality, 2 cabins, and a separate toilet with a shower. It's a proper vessel. It's a proper livable boat, this one. It's not just a day boat. You can get it with a single diesel stern drive or 2 outboard powered, 250 horsepower Yamahas or 300 horsepower Yamahas. My name is Dan Jones. You're watching Dan's Boat Life, and welcome to Greece. That's the Temple of Poseidon over there in the background. It's Sunday, summer is over, but it's beautiful weather, and we literally did just nose right in here, right up next to this beautiful resort beach bar here, because the wind is blowing, and we thought, you know what? That's going to be a calm spot. So because we can, we came in, and that's the whole idea about a boat like this. Anyway, this is going to be the detailed walkthrough. So we're going to go right through all the features of this boat. If you are interested in how she performs and how your life would look like operating one of these, that's going to be the next video that I will link to at the end of this presentation. So please, you're very welcome to join us if that's of interest to you. Anyway, starting up here on the bow, she's a proper, solid, proper looking boat. Sailors, commercial fishermen, all those types of people, they're waving at us today when we're driving around on this boat. You don't get that on a sexy rib, and I have been driving sexy ribs this week. You get a different sort of appreciation, a different crowd, and I get the feeling that the people in the know, the people who know exactly what they want to do with their boat life, will look at something like this and they're going to appreciate it straight away. What am I talking about? Sensible walk around decks, all single floor, easy, no stairs, somewhere to hold on to everywhere you go, lots of protection from the weather. That's the vibe that we're going for on this boat. Just quickly, bit of a sitting space, obviously not a sun lounge. We've got a cute seat, access into the cabin downstairs. We've got the light bar up top, VHF aerial, opening sunroof. You can mount all your instruments from radar to spotlight, etc. up on the roof. And we do have grab holds up here, which will also serve as something to tie on a stand-up paddleboard if you were going to put some toys up on the roof. And any water from the rain drains forward. If you look at the roof design here, it's actually going to catch that rain and send it forward because the roof slopes forward, and there's a good reason to that, which we've discovered, and I'll point that out when we get to the back of the boat. Just quickly, before we start making our way aft, really, really well fended, these boats. So we've got a rub rail all the way around the side. We've got an amazing amount of protection. These rails also allow us to hang fenders, and we've got awesome fender storage down the back of the boat. In the anchor locker, we're going from chain to rode. You can see this extra strength just here because there is actually some rubber fendering down the center line. So for those of you who want to nose forward and secure the boat Mediterranean style, or board people on and off the bow, that is a sensible setup. And as you can possibly see, the anchor is offset to allow grab hold and then easy movement. So that's the idea behind that. Solid cleats on either side, probably oversized for this size of boat, but that's good to see. And sensible courtesy lights dotted all the way down the boat, so it is going to be well illuminated. We've got triple windscreen wipers. They do have a freshwater wash function, and you can also set them to single wiper or all 3 wipers. And as you can see, the boat's covered in salt because we've been testing it. That's what we do on this channel, and we've been getting waves right over the whole boat because there was a storm the other day. We still had some swell left over, and we thought, why not? Let's get out and test the boat in some real stuff. So I'm going to move my way down to the helm door. You go to that door because you'll probably be able to see me a little bit easier from that side. So on the starboard side, we have this opening side door, super handy for boarding at the dock, but you can still go forward and aft. So it's not one of those ultra thick doors which blocks your passage forward and aft. So that works very, very well. And then another courtesy light there, grab holds everywhere. So safety is like paramount on this boat. It's really, really good. And then I think what we'll do, we'll focus our attention on the helm, and then I'll start making my way throughout the rest of the boat. But quality, I think, is probably the word that comes to mind as soon as you step on one of these Sargos. And this is the second Sargo I've tested now on the channel, and that's immediately what I felt. But just come here and focus on this dash. First thing, it's quite unique. You can manipulate the dash like this. So that's super handy, and that allows you, if you are shorter like me and you need to pull the seat forward, you can actually still get the wheel in the right position that suits you. We do have the flip up bolster. This seat will go forward and aft, and we actually have quite a decent amount of space just here at the helm. So a taller person is still going to be able to move around this boat. And you see the size of this door, because it's a step up over this ledge, like so. So even if you were driving in inclement weather, or you took a wave over the decks, it's going to rush aft rather than coming on board, because that's a good 8 inches before you step in. So in terms of what we're seeing here at the dash, we've got all our pencil fuses just here. We've got a single Garmin up on the display. We've got our wipers, navigation lights, horn, deck light, floodlight. We've got an electric variable speed bow thruster, which, because we have the Yamaha 250s and they've been optioned with the heading hold, essentially an autopilot, we can operate this boat in joystick mode, and it talks to the bow thruster. So it will do the motors and the variable speed bow thruster. It has about 5 different speeds, and it will walk this boat sideways. And you can also do station hold, so it'll hold position, and it will incorporate the bow thruster. If you just press F1 from memory, it turns that on. Really, really good function, and it makes life around the dock a lot easier for you. We've got the inverter charger on this one. We can see our state of charge just here. The throttles, that's the Yamaha throttles. We do have the single start-stop. You can put it in single lever mode if you prefer to drive like so. That is possible. And you've got your safety just here, which works. VHF conveniently located up here. Bilge pump operation here, that's the VHF speaker. This is the Yamaha diagnostics, the Fusion speakers forward, and we also have some downlights which will go in white or red. I'm just going to let you appreciate this timber because it's lovely. So they will go red so they don't ruin your night vision of an evening. But you're operating your service batteries and your crank batteries for the motors just here. We do have a USB C and A, I think you call them, just here. Temperature, some of our pumps, lights, septic pumps, just operated from here, and our fusion system. And these screws allow us to get in behind this panel here. So we've got good access for electricians if you need to do anything. And just check out this door. Really easy to operate, lovely timber handle. They slide, super simple, but then you can latch them in that position if you just want to crack it for some airflow. And then you've got the full lock position there. They do obviously have locks on the door as well, but that is great. Another thing worth pointing out, you may or may not be able to see, I might have to do it when we get further aft. For setting the mood, we've got a lovely strip lighting built into this timber, which of an evening, it's going to create a very, very pleasant feel. But before we move our way aft, actually I'm going to show you from here because this will be easier. We're maximising all the available space on this boat. So if you appreciate clever use of small spaces, which should be something you like if you're into boats, they're definitely doing it on this brand. So this is where our cutlery and your plates and your glasses go. This is the footrest for the skipper. We've got a fire extinguisher underneath that, and this is the footrest for the navigator, and then you've got grab holds everywhere, so that's good and solid, and another one just here. But this is actually also the galley. So if you pop this up, boom, boom. This is a 2-burner diesel cooker because we've got diesel heating on this boat. It's got a separate diesel tank aft. We'll check that out a little bit later. So when you pop this up, this is your setup. This is actually heats up and you can put a pot on there and make some tea if you wish. We've got a light just overhead, and then we have more storage up above. It's so neat. It's so cool. And then more storage underneath. See those? And then this is actually a little bin. How neat is that? Just pulls out exactly where you need it. So really making a good use of the available space. We're not going to go forward just yet, but I'm going to point out that the toilet and the master cabin is down here, but you can actually completely lock it off privately like that. That beautiful timber just there. And we've also got the demisters just here. That's going to be taking heat, I'd say from, I'd say on the outboard powers, is it taking from the diesel heater? I'm not too sure. Yeah, okay, it is. So that's how that works. As someone from a hot country who doesn't use those too much. So you guys go over there, and then I'm going to show you this space, which is very pleasant and multifunctional. So, okay, wraparound seating just here. I'll just give you some perspective. You may or may not notice this back window opens. So when you're driving, if you want to suck some air through the boat, yes, you could put air conditioning and a generator on this if you wish, but you can crack that open. You can crack the sunroof open. It's got 1, 2, 3 positions, fully open, half open, or just cracked open. So you can draw air through the boat and still be quite comfortable. And obviously having this open when you're in social mode to communicate with people out back is lovely. We're going to get there in a little while because you could actually set it up with a beautiful big table for lunch. But if you're just doing, let me just sit in here and show you, if you're just doing a couple of people, how cute's that? So for 2 people sitting like this for a meal, that might work just fine. You can also manipulate this around to get in and out, but you can even, boom, boom, do this. So another person, now see how much extra space we have? So if you're doing 2 people eating like that, you can have 4 people like that, or you can use it kind of as your work from boat setup if you wish. So that's really cool. And see, the space under here is a convenient little spot to throw a few briefcases or bags if you don't want to throw them on the bed. So that's just one option for you. But a second cabin, this is a 28, okay, she's about 30 feet overall, but a second cabin is not something you get to appreciate on boats of this size so much. That's the electric fridge, but there's more refrigeration options aft. We'll get to that in a second. So basically with this up, you just kind of come down. It's a proper bed for 2 people, and you've got reading lights, you've got ventilation, heating, but see this? That pulls like so, and then if you see this cushion here, it literally just goes into position here. Obviously it's double the size, but I'm just showing you for purpose of the exercise. And I better actually quickly grab the camera and show me on the bed. I'll just show you guys how long this is. This is a 28. So how good's this? It's a proper overnight cabin. You could potentially argue that this is the master instead of the other one. We've got nice finishings, rounded corners. It doesn't feel like a dangerous space. And then you still have a good footwell here when this is stowed, not deployed, obviously, and somewhere to put your things there. And we even have some storage and a charging point just here, plus a convenient little locker for just your overnight things. And then the step actually also hinges up to allow you to put a couple of shoes away and just get them out of the way. And in terms of privacy, you can still pop this door closed, boom, boom, and there you go. So you're locked away with your own little window, and that's used for the evening should you wish. I think that's fantastic. So, opens up like that, 1, 2 stairs, and then you come down. You've actually got your own little jacket hanging space where you can put a few hangers just there. Beautiful little storage in here, but this bed is immense. It's lovely. So 2 people are going to be more than happy here. You've got opening ventilation, reading lights and charging points, vents for air conditioning or heating, and then you've got storage for luggage just under here. So airline luggage will go perfectly in there, and then access to the bow thruster is just through there. And of course, this is where we have our own head and shower compartment, which is quite important because of some of the boats in the more adventure style category, you're actually going to the toilet in the bedroom, or because the toilet's kind of under the bed, which is just not going to work for many people, I know. So shower curtain, little mirror there, some ventilation, storage, access, wet head, perfect. So that's ideal. And just the finish is lovely. It's also worth pointing out that the construction of these boats and the fit out, it's actually timber on fiberglass. So actually I can probably show you a little bit better from this angle. So this fiberglass is how they make the furniture. So all the way throughout the boat, it's actually part of one strong structure, and then they just put the timber on top. So rather than doing like a stick build on the inside, which is also going to cause noise when the timber is all moving and sort of flexing and touching itself, you've just got the rigidity of the fiberglass and the timber over the top. It just means the whole structure is going to last so much longer. You do feel, because it's a small boat, obviously, if you're rocking around, you've always got something to hold on to. You're never at any times at risk of falling off this boat, in my personal opinion. If you're coming up alongside a fixed dock and you need to step off, or you're rafting up with friends, I think this is the place to do it because it seems logical. And then you've got a handhold there, midships cleat, really, really easy to access from the helm. So that's a good setup there. And then you can see if you're taking water on deck, it's just going to be caught by this drain here and then sent overboard. But come and have a look at this space aft. Because we are running the outboards, we've got a couple of advantages on this boat. One is a high cruising speed. You can check that out in the next video if you're interested in that. But this space underneath us, which I'm going to open in a second after I've showed you all the features, is a massive storage area and a convenient technical access space as well. But right now, in the social function, we've got these seats. Oh, I love these gates, by the way. You just grab them. You don't have to unlock anything. They just go like that. Super simple, really strong. So look at this space that we've got available to us. So if you're wanting, I think a lot of people are going to fish off a boat like this, or do a little bit of that style of activities, and this will be a great place just to pop a line in, spend the afternoon. We've got eskies. So these are insulated. You can use these as an esky. That's the diesel in for your diesel heater. You've got your water in. That's your manual bilge pump for emergencies. There's your aft cleat. We've got another esky. Oh, for those of you that don't use that term, it's a chili bin, or like, oh no, that's a key. What are English people? It's a cool box. Put ice in there. Cool, you keep your drinks cool. And that's your fuel tank in, just there. So that's your other options, and keeps you social rather than having to go forward to the fridge. And this one keeps you completely out of the wind, but there's some cool design features here as well, because Yes, we've got the window. I think that's great. We've got some downlights just up here. We are out of the wind, so it's the warmest place to sit outside. We still have good deep storage, great for lines and safety gear, but you don't even need to put lines in here, because what you're going to notice in a second is that we've got these super cool and kind of tough looking fender holders out the back here. And I think for this style of boat, as long as you tie your lines properly, you could just hang them off the back here. As long as you don't have any rope trailing out the back of the boat, it's kind of going to be quite fitting for this style. Obviously that's the flagpole there, and this particular design. So see the wiring loom exiting the motor just here? Most boats with a outboard setup and swim platform out the back, you're actually stepping over the wiring loom or potentially tripping on the wiring loom. Whereas this one has been designed, we've got this pod here, and then we actually have the swim platform over the pod. So it's really, really simple to move around. And if you can see maybe from here, the fender or the rub rail extends all the way around this back corner, because a lot of them just finish there, or this corner remains exposed, which is bad for when you're having a whoopsie, because the number one part of the boat which is going to contact with the dock, it's this back corner, because typically when you're driving, your focus and attention is forward, and most boats are quite a lot larger than the average car, and people don't realize their aft swing room. So when you're doing a corner, if you haven't factored in your risk point, it's going to swing out and wallop something. But it's great to have this, and it just saves a lot of stress, to be honest. So yeah, I really, really like this design from an operational perspective, from a solo operator. So you may or may not have noticed these bases just here, and here. This is great and open, and people can enjoy this space, but there's a huge teak table which can be set up and utilizing this space. So you could arguably get 6 adults. It's CE category B, so you can actually take 8, but in talking about comfortably sitting around a table for lunch, maybe 6, and for drinks 8, and this space is going to be perfect. And one of the other design elements that I appreciate, or I noticed on this, is because I've been on quite a few of these cabin boats in this size range. See, when I stand up here, I'm 5'7", I got all this space above my head. So quite a few of these boats that do these overhangs aft, they don't angle the roof so much like we have on the Sargo. They don't angle them up and forward so much. So you get into this space, and even I, at 5'7", will hit my head. Sometimes these fold-up windows are like right in my face. It's like, oof, that's potentially a bit dangerous. So I like this design where it's kind of like something to hold on to. Most people, like I'd say a 6-foot person is probably going to get under here, no problems, and they could still stay out of the weather and just not accidentally bang themselves in the head, which is a great idea. So just make sure both of them are unlocked. Yep. So check this out. I might have to grab the camera off you, but this is what I love. I'll jump down there, and then we'll poke the camera inside. So how good's this? You can see the extra strengthening that they have applied to the transom here, 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 and here. That's taking the loads from the pod, and obviously the extra leverage applied from putting weight, that's probably 600 kilos worth of engines, maybe more, out the back there. So they have counted for that by taking those loads from the transom and sending them into the keel. So that's great to see. But instead of having an inboard engine in this space, we now have storage galore. So just use it as you see fit. This is the storage space for that teak table that I was talking about. The legs are actually just tucked in underneath here, and you can see I've got my equipment bag just here, but we've got access to everything, and they're using a lot of stainless steel. That looks like the house batteries, I would assume. We can see the bilge pumps underneath that. Get that in properly. Pass me the camera and I will take you around so you can see. We're looking at the transom right now. That's the bolts for the pod. Now we're looking at some hydraulics. That looks like crank batteries. This looks like the window washer fluid and holding tank, metal. This is going to be the water tank. And then we're making our way across the forward bulkhead. There's the inverter charger. That's the hot water pressure vessel just in there. This is the diesel tank. I'm going to guess that that is about 25 litres, maybe more. And remember, they just drip feed. That looks like another crank battery. And I'd say those house batteries are underneath us. So that's fantastic. It's kind of allows you to look at it as a bit of a blank canvas and apply your mission set to the boat. That's the table legs that I was talking about before. And that's kind of what I really like about this boat. We might as well wrap this video right here with this beautiful background. How good's Greece? Honestly, leads me to remind you guys that apparently a lot of people from outside of Greece, Aussies, Americans, you name it, are starting to keep their boats in Greece and fly in for holidays, or just fly in for a couple of days and go boating when the weather's nice. I think that's a great idea. And I checked out a storage facility just down the road from here this morning where they can keep this boat on a trailer. So you don't even need to anti-foul it. So there's many places around the world where you can put something of this size in a rack and stack or on a trailer. These guys, for the price of 2 months in water berthing in Sydney, you get a year's service here in Greece, and they will wash it down, come and collect it, put it on the trailer, wash it down, put the covers on, plug it into shore power, and you're packed away for until next time you go boating. I think that is great, and I think for some of you guys who are looking a little bit more globally today with your boating, I think you should consider it, because this is a wonderful place to enjoy a bit of boating, and why wouldn't you? Coming up next is going to be the test drive video where I'm going to talk about competition and how she feels and what you should compare her to. But who's the best person to be suited to this Sargo 28 Explorer? I would say a seasoned boater. I would say someone who's potentially an ex-sailor or a commercial boater, or someone who's done a lot of boating, because if you step on this 28, you're immediately going to see the value in the size. They're not trying to build, quite clearly, the cheapest boat. They're not trying to build the lightest boat. I think they're just trying to build the best boat from what you feel and what you see. The next point, someone who does appreciate quality and understands in the boating world will get on this thing, and they will appreciate this boat straight away. And also, if accommodation is important to you, most of the boats in this 28, 30 foot range, you get one cabin. If you're looking at two cabins, the competition with two cabins are often that you're going to be looking at something with a single shaft drive, and it does half the speed of what this boat will. So to have the speed and the high cruising capabilities of outboards and the two cabins, a separate toilet, that's a bit of a bonus. Some feedback on the design. These walk-around decks are really safe. That roof line, this area here, is really functional. So that Helm access and then the guest access with the other door slightly aft is fantastic. So a solo operator wanting to take out his or her partner on occasion and wanting to have the ability to invite another couple to spend 1 or 2 nights out somewhere beautiful, having an adventure on your summer holidays, it's gonna be a great boat for that. I think if your primary mission set is lots and lots of little adventures by yourself or with your partner, and then having the occasional guests joining you, you're really going to love this. Considerations for you, it's the engines. Do you get the twin 250s? Do you get the twin 300s? Or do you go for the inboard. I'll touch on that in the next video, or it will become more evident in the next video. But those are some considerations for you to think about, and that really depends on your mission set. So, hope that was useful. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to give us a like. I really appreciate all of your comments. I'm reading all of them. I don't get time to respond to them because I'm pretty much spend 24 hours on an aeroplane each week at the moment. So I'm trying to respond as much as I can. But if I don't, please know that I appreciated the love you're sending. And if you want to reach me, I'm on Manect. Link is down below in the description. Test drive video coming up next. It's going to be a lot of fun, this one, because we still had some waves left over. Love you lots. Coming from Greece. See you in the next video.